exponential results for leaders and their organizations. Coach Thapelo is a coach certified by the International Coaching Federation, ICF, Harvard Institute of Coaching and Leadership Academy, SA.
Your new nature will thrive in certain environment and it will die in certain environment.
That's correct. That is correct.
Your new nature will thrive in certain environment and it will die in certain environments. Your willingness to build is the evidence of a belief that one day is going to rain. Like Noah, who built an ark out of an instruction, but the reason for the ark existed. Never take it for granted. When God sends a new voice into your direction, knows that He has an increase in mind. When God opens the new doors of relationships, knows that He's about to elevate you to the next level. Therefore, I appeal to you this afternoon with utmost respect and honor, and I want to say this to you before I start anything. The reason that I'm thinking, why people don't show value out of such events, it's because of our attitude. We come to learn with an attitude of knowing. But for this environment, I want you to spice it with a different attitude. I want you to come with an attitude of going to mastery. Because mastery is a money earner. Taking notes makes you money maker. You can't be a money maker because you are not a note maker. Be aware of that. Be aware of that. It's such an honor and a privilege. Don't fix it on my letter. But while it's such an honor to be here with you and such a privilege, I humble myself under a mission that was incubated and implemented within the Wednesday. It's such an honor to be here, sir. I'm not going to spend so much time because the unfortunate part is by the time you want to start enjoying me, I'll be closing. By the time you start enjoying me, I'll be closing. Thank you, our wonderful MC, for introducing me to your audience. Let me start with this way. What is in the hands will continue being the same until we change what is in the head. What we produce will consistently be the same until we change what is in the head. Now the enemy of becoming is what is between the ears, not what is in the hands. The enemy of you becoming is not what is in the hands, but it is what is in the head. So until we change what is in the head, what is in the hands will remain the same. Alright? So now I am here to resurrect your hope, because when we are in time that we live in, we need hope more than knowledge. The problem is this: we so much conscientized about wanting knowledge, but we don't know knowledge is corruptible. That's why in wisdom has a revelation. Wisdom has a revelation. Father, we humble ourselves. We are in agreement with you because we know that your will take place. Holy Spirit, become the teacher. Humble me and increase you. May wherever the wounds are, allow my wound to heal, to prepare, and to encourage a better future. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm a coach who uses biblical principles to fast pace or to track the results for leaders in their organization. Therefore, for those Bible school, you don't get Bible school. So I've prepared a very balanced meal for you. I'm just going to speak about 3 things, and then I'm going to sit down. Is it fine? Am I well received in that land? Yes. Am I well received in that land? Am I well received in Clarens? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 3 things that I'm going to speak about that I think are very important in you becoming something. I'm going to try to mix up Sesotho and a bit of Samoa. Hi, you got what how Nata and Pagi. You try to get it for saying you see it and you see it. Therefore, there are 3 things that I want to share with you that I believe will answer the most important question of the day. How do we become? How do we become? So, these are the 3 things that I've prepared for you. And I hope that I speak them from the heart because I don't want to be fast. And I look to my watch to tell you. On a level in how fit are we on? Therefore, I never do sugar contact that will from the heart. So, 3 things. These 3 principles, they're going to teach you each lesson per principle. And I will notify you when I'm about to share the lessons in those principles. The 3rd one is the power of process. Say the power of process.
The power of process.
The power of process.
The power of process.
God blessed people had to go through tough places before they could enjoy a victory status. Process is the womb of greatness. So becoming is a choice, but its effect is in the process. So I'm going to speak to you about the power of the process. The 2nd principle that I'm going to teach you is the power of the picture. Say the power of the picture.
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 We go through things that we go through because of the pictures that we have. We go through things that we go through because of the picture that we have. Your picture has a magnetic pull effect or magnetic push away effect from your destiny. The power of the picture. The last one that I'm going to speak about, it's the power of your story. Say the power of your story.
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 Your story is in your journey. Your story is in your journey. But one thing that we are not taught is this one. Your story is shaped by other stories. Your story is shaped by other stories. Therefore, people are key to stories. So, don't forget, it becomes difficult for us to become because we lack reference of good stories in our hood. It becomes impossible to become what has never been modeled in front of you.
Definitely.
So we can't become not because Haribaki, but because of we lack role modeling where we are. That's why one of the initiatives that I'm doing with my NPO organization is to establish April what we call the founder stories that shapes us. Because we need to get in a culture where we celebrate our black people doing great things.
Yes, sir.
Your story is shaped by other stories. But you need to understand this. People are key to stories. Therefore, what you have heard, what you have read, what you have listened to was done by someone. Therefore, people are key to stories. People are solutions, but they become a problem when they are placed in the wrong place. People are solutions, but they become a problem when they are placed in the wrong place. This is where I want to throw you. This is the first lesson that I want you to take down. We have, I don't know what to something about I needed to outsource some theology studies here. I needed to outsource.
You're safe.
I'm safe.
You're safe.
Oh, I still have 7 in this room.
Yeah, we have Thapelo, we have Clarens. You're safe.
Right. And the business of the day continue.
So you're safe.
This is the first lesson that I want you to get. Let's look at the book of Genesis 12, verse 1. Before God made a promise to Abraham, he had an instruction. He had an instruction, and the instruction was simple. The instruction was that, Abraham, leave your country, leave your family, leave all your loved ones, and follow my instruction to no man's place where I will bless you. So sometimes we struggle to get these stories simply because of the order of people that are in a friend, are people that we love, are not people that God has instructed us to be with.
Hey.
The arrangement of people who comes into your life in a season is not determined by you. It's determined by God because of what He wants to do in your life in that season. That instruction was a relational cycle instruction, was a relational structure changing questions. So when how can they everything emotions. You become the same person in each and every season because of one thing. You are here now with us. We are feeling what is good in you. But the problem is this one. Who do you go back to? Overseeing. Overseeing. Because after you live here, I'm at the age where I understood my calling. And I understand that my calling doesn't need friends, but it needs relationships. Because relationship breeds revenue. I don't need friends. I need references.
True.
I need billboards. And my billboards, I'm always carrying them with me. Because when I fail myself, I fail my billboards. But my billboards, when they uplift with me, we grow together. Therefore, the content becomes evolutionary, it becomes constructive, and it becomes win-win situation type of friendship. Who are you supposed to partner with in this season? Who's holding you back in that phone of yours that you have rented a space? Which are into the iPhone, my caliber are useless. Business. Your initial market is your content. Your initial market is your content. If they don't support what you're doing, and there are a type of people who operate life. What do you need? Don't open another problem inside. How will I 10,000? It was your size play. The type of people, when they need your service, they say, keep change. Not I want discount. Not I want for credit. Because to become, it's not so much that we are not giving effort, But the problem was, we were taught to throw the name friend so casually. That's why the problem is not worry. We don't give effort in trying to become. But the problem is we throw the name of a friend casually. Maybe if I may be allowed to explain this, maybe that to some of you. Honale batho ba tla bophelo ba hao go se ka rantso. Honale batho ba tla bophelo ba hao for bophelo ba hao. Honale batho ba tla bophelo ba hao for neo ya hao. Ba diteng ba tletse o ba botsa dipotso tse hantle na. Casual. You're busy talking about 10 years back, but we are now. You are failing the next generation. We are tired of Aibara. We want new songs. We want new trendsetters. You're busy entertaining past 5 years things. We are cheap as the conversations that we have.
Oh, Jesus.
We cannot get better. I was telling someone there, saying to them, as much as you want to crucify everyone with the white pigment, it's like they were part of it. But this is one thing that I love. In every bad chapter, there's a story.
Yes, sir.
Good story that comes out. I said to them, this is one thing I love being around white people. The way they think and the way they recommend things to us. Their principles of belief cannot be doubted. Now when I'm sitting footprint of becoming better. But he's better. Therefore, giving him my hearing power strengthens me for the journey of becoming.
Jesus.
Your friend, your story is influenced by other stories. Everyone has a choice as to what type of cheese you want into your sandwich. What stories do you afford with your time? That data, what's what I'm saying? Umamela dominate negative, how the gossip the whole day. Only at Sanalina don't work anymore.
That's right.
Give favor and grace, or you can afford a time on what was I afford. It's a grace that will allow salary. But a salary winner, give distraction and maybe to you be done.
Oh, yeah.
Let them spoke about something. Taking someone out, I call it growth allowance. Out of the money that you make, how much is the growth allowance? How? Because you need to understand, no man is an island.
Yes, sir.
No man is an island. Like my man by himself, the self-made. Who's the self-made? No one is a self-made. But at least how do I God meet? How do I God meet? But your story is influenced by other stories. Until you change the stories that you hear, your story will remain the same. The highest level of story mastery, it's not when you tell your story, but it's when you say your story. We fail to climb growth ladders at our workplace, not because we are not working, but because we don't know how to speak our story. Make time to build your story, because your story is a currency. Your story will buy you entrance that qualification will not buy you. Master your story. Make it an assignment that you learn your story. Let me move to the second one. There's so much that I can speak about, especially when it comes to relationship and stories. Re kena ka hara relationship based on our strong points. Re kena ka hara relationship based on what we have. Re kena ka hara relationship based on things that we can afford. But we forget that Joseph was still performing his calling while he was in prison to people who could not afford him anything. How Joseph became the right man of the king was not because of his qualification, his expertise, but it was through a reference. Diteng ngwaneso, diteng di relationship tse leng ha di no sebeletsa hana jwale ska di lahla. Keep them because they are for the next season. Hona le di relationship tse leng ha no sebeletsa hana jwale, but keep them. Hona le metswalle e o fosetsang, hona le metswalle e o etsang hampe. Mara potso kore, are you willing to carry your friends in their weak seasons? Because that might be the very same person you need when you want to access the king of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
The second one, ke o thusa ma? Ska patanga ho. We can't be casual. My scars are too deep that I cannot take my calling for granted. I can't. I need to be authentic. The most painful experience is already preparing a person. Next to toughness is preparation. I'm preparing. The second one that I want to speak about is the picture. The power of the picture. The power of the picture. The story you have of yourself shapes the picture you have about yourself. The story you tell yourself shapes the picture you have about yourself. A dream is a picture that appears in sequence. A dream is a picture that appears in sequence. I did not know to say, you speak as a comment. It's a picture that comes in sequence. Now you need to understand something. Joseph was a dreamer. Because of a dream, he was rejected. Nelson Mandela was a dreamer because he had the new South Africa in mind. Malcolm X was a dreamer because he had a dream that he wanted for black Negroes in America. Thapelo had a dream because he wanted to find himself in a certain place. Mamela, you also have a dream. But you need dream activators. You need dream activators. Not everyone is qualified to advance the cause of your dream.
True, that is.
The picture you have of yourself. Now this is the funny part. We can have the picture, but how we keep it, it's so much of the faith, not the fake. How you keep this dream in mind, how you keep these pictures in mind, it's not the question of your expertise, it's not the question of your qualification, but it's the question of faith, not faith. Now when you go to the Bible, it says faith is the substance of things or hoped for. Now can you say that into the word? A picture of becoming, because our childhood, there were things that happened to our home, because now what happens is things don't happen to us, they happen to our home. Things don't happen to you, they happen to what you hope for. Therefore, it changes the whole picture of how you see yourself. I cannot become. I cannot see a clear picture of me becoming because someone stole my identity. I cannot have a perfect picture of me becoming better simply because I'm still waiting for someone who entered the room where I was naked, and took advantage of me. I cannot still see a better picture because I'm still waiting for that person to come back and answer to why. I cannot become better because I've sacrificed and gave everything to my marriage. But when he turned around, he said, I'm doing you because I'm not in my feeling. I'm waiting for answers. That's why this picture is so very dark. That's why this picture is not very clear. Because there's so many questions that I have. And no one is coming to rescue me. Now, I've been experiencing bad things. I had lost my parents when I was young. I had to sacrifice my childhood and take responsibility of my young siblings. I had to even make responsibility now. I had to be the father and be able to sit there. Why not this nuts? That's my childhood, how I was raised. But how do I get a better picture of becoming? Because all of these things, I'm still questioning myself. God, I pray that God heals what you are hiding. I pray that God heals what you are hiding. Because he says, during that moment, you were not alone. I was there with you. But you need to understand the power of correction. It doesn't imply less love, but it means that it had to be done so that I can strengthen your testimony and your story. Because this area of your struggles are the areas of your blessings. You would not be able to qualify and speak to people if I had made everything available to you in a second. What if what I hoped for, it's not what I would hope for? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. But what happens if my hope is lost? Jesus. Hope doesn't disappoint. Hope doesn't disappoint. You can still rise. You can still become better. But this is what he's saying. He's saying 3 things that must happen. Oh, Jesus. He's saying 3 things should happen. 3 things should happen. In the process of questioning, in the process of wanting them to come back and tell you why, he's saying do this, because this is not an information session, but it's a transformational session. I want you to start to forgive yourself for wasting time. I want you to forgive yourself for wasting time and waiting for them to come back. He says the second thing that is very important, I want you to forgive them for what they have done. Because of, I had a greater plan with what was happening to you. The season might not yet come to an effect of you seeing what you had to pass through. But like Noah, I gave an instruction for him to build an ark before it started raining. The raining days are coming. Therefore, your hard positions becomes important to what you receive. Therefore, forgive them. Forgive them. And then he said the third thing, forgive everyone. Forgive everyone. We live at a time where we want people to account because we don't want to self-account. But he's saying, take the responsibility. Take the responsibility. It is once you have forgiven them that you'll understand that your story can change. And when your story changes, it changes the picture. areas are we still alive? This might make my employer not bring me back again. But I had to say it. How do we get around it? So then I can close him, see I'm sorry for the time. So then the power of the process. The power of the process. Oh, you can do much better. The power of the process. Bona. There's no one in the Bible that God has used. We have never went through a terrible season. There is in everyone's life, there is a point where life will crush you before you crush it. Bon, hasi Joseph ay la rekiswa ki wa butiai. Hasi Joseph ay la tronko. Kabaka la tlo. Ya ki ala Joseph yo ntatwa. Ay kana ba busis ba. Hasi Daniel ay la hlela ka gale mina la dia. Ki ala Daniel yo. Hasi the Hebrew brothers that were thrown karamol. Kibon. Hasi ka mo thaila ay la hakwa Hudima cross. Actually, the Hassian too. How can you see? I think that Mandela in that 27 years. Hassan. Has it happened? I like kicking Papili, Hana Kala, Tilaya, Kibata counting firm. People had to sit and organize and use money to disturb the destiny that God has set me up for. They came and then they kicked me for 3 hours. I was given 3 conditions. You need to live welcome. You don't need to report to police. You either if you would have welcome or don't avoid the stop. And they did the matter worse. They called back at home and they told my mother that the compound is a funeral police because we're going to bring him back in the stop. So when Hamatata Dovaname or Matela Bahoti or the Bala or Modimu this season or Tame to do Gemela. Money doesn't solve problems, but money sets the new levels of problems. I'm going to repeat that. Money doesn't solve problems, but money sets the new levels of problems. But one thing that I can assure you is that money follows problem solvers.
Yes, sir.
Tell it. Until you understand that there are phases that you need to go through before you enjoy the victory status. What's about Solomon Yan school and blessings? Why would you have you have to be a tested and proving material for God to honor you. God honors big truths because big truths honors God. That's why I'm a big dreamer. But I understood to kind of feel like I had a season. Yeah, abundance. I have to do so. We need to love God through tough times because it's preparing us to get somewhere. When you run away from your problems, you run away from your blessings. Because the areas of your problems are the areas of your blessings. This is what I want to say when I close. At some point in life, I found myself wanting to get into farming. Now, or there are seeds that can only come to fruition in Mbongo, not in Free State. There are seeds that can come to fruition in Pumalanga, not in KZN. Mamela, Sebaka doesn't hinder the potential of the seeds, but the environment hinders and holds the seeds. Therefore, you need to understand when you live here that if you come from this place and you go to the environment that are still toxic for you, they go to kill you to the same point. Your new nature requires certain places to thrive and certain places to die. So it's very important to understand that there is power in environment. There is power in environment. When the story is fine, when the picture is okay, but the environment is wrong, the process will be wrong. When the picture is right and the story is right, but the environment is wrong, it will bury you. Because there is power. There is power in the environment. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, if you say, you can't become better until you start doing better. And doing better requires you to be better. Be like a stem. Focus on one thing until it succeeds. Focus on one thing until it succeeds. It works on you before it starts working for you. Anything that doesn't have cost cannot carry you. But anything that has a cost can carry you. It's about time that you stop taking yourself for granted. We are at a time when people are building stories because God is not in the business of wasting experiences. There is a reason why you had to go through what you went through. There is a reason why you're going through what you're going through. If Ohala Moki Moki one day, are you ready to Bagan Yohama Gikin? It took David to throw stones for Goliath to fall. It took David to throw stones for Goliath to fall. Until you throw stones to your own Goliath, he will remain there, he will become a museum, and he will stop you for the rest of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Thapelo.
Ke kopa go open-ended Thapelo.